Let's see, it's looking like that Orkin's math is a little off once you translate the sigils. From what I see, it looks like it runs a major risk of simply churning a body into long jelly noodles. It's weird this math also makes bones into semi-solidified liquid.
So I've noticed. I just need a second set of eyes to confirm it, though I'm the transportation expert in this while Orkin is just my time jockey.
Yeah, but you two do need to work together. If one of you screws up with a certain context of the other, I end up dead with my phantom making these videos.
You think you'll be a ghost?
Well, I've died multiple times already, so obviously God doesn't want me in his house yet.
You'll eventually have a final death, right?
I'm starting to question that. I swear, a lot of my life would look out of place in a comic book series. I'm wondering what I am at this point. Am I a guardian from Destiny? No, I've not had a sarcastic robot flying and rebuilding me. Am I a cat? I hope not. I have a minor allergy to them. Am I a
Necron? You were for a bit there.
Yeah, thanks for that if I've not said that before. Man, I need to find a subject for this video. I really want to talk about a movie, but I have not watched any movies recently. Well, nothing that stuck with me, really.
You're a few days ahead of schedule. Why don't you watch something and then talk about it?
I don't know. I really should. Oh! Actually, I have an idea. It's not a good idea, but it's an idea.
If it's not good, why do it?
I have the worst luck imaginable while also playing a ton of luck-based games, including, but not limited to, TTRPGs, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Warhammer of various different flavors of each. I am the embodiment of bad ideas.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going to figure out these equations. Have fun talking about whatever. I don't care.
Okay, I'll try. So, a good long time ago, I can't remember when, I actually sat my friend down to watch a movie I loved as a kid, FernGully, and as we watched it, it did not hold up. But as we watched it, I got more and more confused by it. The concept behind the movie is that a rainforest is being chopped by a lumber company, with one tree being cursed to contain a great evil entity. Fairies are meant to keep the tree from being harmed, as if it is chopped, the monster is released and will destroy all life it touches. That's the long and short of it. We don't need to go into details. This movie came out in 1992, and it has Tim Curry and Robin Williams in it as the most recognizable roles of the monster and baddie. While watching this movie more recently, I was reminded it's a musical, and it's not a good one, as it forces the songs in that barely progress the plot, but the animals is where I got confused the most. I saw random lizards and birds and monitor lizards and pythons and koalas and kangaroos. Wait, where does this movie take place? The Australian rainforest. Before rewatching this movie, I didn't even know Australia had rainforests. So, there's a lumber company chopping a rainforest. Okay, but the human and the elf actors, where are they all? America. They're all Americans. I think there was maybe one Australian in the film. At first I thought the monitor lizard was an Australian VA, but apparently the voice is by some rapper from California that probably nobody knows of. Not even the fairies are Australian. I think the only one not an American, or at least a lesser version known as a quote Canadian, was Tim Curry. Of course, through the film, there are only 3 humans. 2 of them are simple comedy relief, but neither one of them is Australian either. And, you know, this movie is apparently based on a beloved Australian children's book. I don't know anything about the book. I don't have a ground tether to go to Australia. Not only that, but the fact that I can't get multiple vaccinations due to deformities, so I have never read the book FernGully that the movie is based on, but I imagine it's rather Australian in its nature, especially given the writer grew up in Australia and didn't really go anywhere until her book got popular and got made by Croyer Films, which is an American production company. But FAI Films is one of the other production companies, and they're Australian, so I don't know why they didn't push for Australian voices. Hell, I want to point out that Australia has had heavy rainforest protection laws in place from as long ago as 1982, so 10 years before this movie came out. So the whole concept of this movie is questionable at best, and is probably a lot more asinine in the various contexts nowadays. Of course, the wood in the rainforest isn't as usable as tundra forest wood is, so I'm not too mad about the protections, especially in a nation like Down Under, which is absolutely wild in its variety, much like the US, but in a very different form of deadly. But I think the biggest issue with the movie, watching it as an adult, is the musical aspect of it. My friend mentioned that it feels like they wrote the script, hired voices, got everything ready, then suddenly realized they needed 10 to 15 more minutes in it, and wrote some songs to get thrown in. They are all very easily replaceable with a single line of dialogue or two. None of them really push forward the plot, they just explain the part of the plot that just happened. One song sung by the great Tim Curry is explaining the villain's motives, and how it just wants to eat and consume life until all is waste. Another song is done by the late Robin Williams, and it's just explaining why Batty has a wire in his head, and why he sometimes glitches. Hell, there's one point where the main human's Walkman accidentally turns on and the fairies learn what rock is. That's honestly just a pause in the plot. Walkman. Man, there's a huge portion of the world that doesn't know what a Walkman is anymore. Actually, I think I still have one. Unless the tech priest got it. Let's compare the musical that came out not that long ago. Actually, how long ago? 2023, 3 years ago. Wonka. They unfortunately hid the fact that this movie is a musical, and I loved it. I don't care what everyone says. This movie had the music pushing forward scenes, from the song while they build their candy store, to show them moving into the next scene in the next part of the story. The story continues as they're forging the store and the factory to move into the next bit of the film. Music in a movie should not stop the story for the song. The song should push into the next scene. Think about the original Mulan. You saw during these songs the main character growing to understand her fellow warriors and see the company moving forward while thinking about what they wanted in life. Hell, how many songs in FernGully? Wikipedia says there are 8, but I genuinely only remember 3 of these. Although it apparently counts the opening music and the credits song, which most studios do count. Wait, Elton John did one of these songs? Is this the credits song? Some Other World. I'll have to look into this, but that'll be off camera. I'm going to try and get some side work done. Shove off.